What do you think are the reasons for the enduring worldwide popularity of the character of Indiana Jones and of the Indiana franchise?
Indiana Jones movies, I think, remain popular because they represent to the audiences, first of all, they had a profound impact when they first came out, so they're a part of the childhood of so many people. But the films have been shared generationally. You know, parents have shared these movies with their kids and on and on. Why? Because they're charming, because they're filled with heart and character as well as action. They're imaginative. They build on the world we know and our history and take us to fantastic places, you know. But more than anything, they're also love letters to classic filmmaking. And I think that that has a kind of universal appeal.
Great, thank you. So secondly, in what ways is the film different from the previous Indie Adventures, and in what ways is it similar?
Well, in tone and style and where we're getting, we're trying to make a movie that certainly doesn't run away from what an Indiana Jones adventure should be. A kind of round-the-world adventure, a kind of screwball comedy, meaning gritty action, mystery, real, a nemesis for Indy who represents a threat to him or those he loves, and the mystery of the relic. These are all things that remain consistent across the movies, as well as, of course, Indy's character and many others who we will see again in this picture. But we're also dealing with something quite obvious the moment you see Harrison in the movie, which is just he's 42 years older than the guy who was in Raiders of the Lost Ark. So part of the movie is also addressed to what it is to be a hero in Sunset and what it is to face the final chapters of your life with all your triumphs and tragedies behind you, trying to understand what last adventure awaits you.
Excellent. Why was it important to set the film in 1969?
Well, because mathematically that would put, it would match the age we were playing Harrison and take us, you know, given you had a timeline of movies and what age he was in the previous pictures. So you're tracking your movie star's age and your character's age. One way or another was going to put us in the late 60s or maybe early 70s. So I chose 1969 simply because our villain, who's modeled after Werner von Braun, who was a famous Nazi rocket scientist who came to this country and helped us with our Apollo program and our rocket program at NASA, is a character that I thought was very interesting to show, even from a historical basis, how some pretty brilliant Nazi minds had managed to make a home in America and a life for themselves and embed themselves in the system that reveals itself in our movie.
Great. Number 4, in each of the Indy films, he's on a quest for a powerful ancient artifact. What is the Dial of Destiny?
Well, the title refers to the Antikythera, which is a kind of, it's still a mysterious object believed to have been built, or many suspect built by Archimedes, that is this kind of heavily geared, almost clock-like mechanism that was found in a Roman ship deep below the sea. And there's been all these assumptions what this thing was built for and why Archimedes built it. And some of the assumptions are that it was some attempt to understand the way time itself works.
Wow. And finally, how important was it to you that John Williams composed the score for this film?
It was so important to me that John score this film because I think he's the voice of these films. I think his voice, when we talk about kind of golden age cinema and that these movies are kind of a love letter to classic movies, John represents in our modern world of synthesized scores and kind of pulsing scores, a kind of melodic, full-blown orchestral, old-school scoring style that is rapidly fading. And to me, the idea that I got to collaborate with this maestro at 90 years of age, writing well over 2 hours of music in pencil, to cut frame for frame with this movie is one of the most moving and inspiring collaborations I ever had in my life.